Hey, how you doing today, YouTube? Today I wanted to talk about people letting their home, hometowns rather, or neighborhood, hood, define them, define who they are and who they should be and who they should hang around and things of that nature. I guess it's time for me to start elaborating about my past and where I'm from and some of the things I've seen. I was actually born outside the United States. I'm from Jamaica. I've been here 13 years now, and I turned 27 this year, so you do the math. Um, I've seen a lot throughout my life, and some of my friends, they've let their experiences. Some of the friends I grew up with, you know, in Jamaica in my home, they let the experiences define them, and they did some things that we saw the older people do, things that wouldn't be looked at as right or wouldn't be looked at as you know what you're supposed to do with your life. Um, to put into a better perspective, a lot of us didn't think we would grow up to, you know, to see the age of, I don't know, 18, 20, because the violence and the crime, it was just so bad. And you know, I remember my parents had to be real strict about us coming home at a certain time because of it. You know, my younger sister was never really allowed to walk certain places by herself. We would have to always be there. Now, I'm saying all this to say that I don't walk around with that stuff on my forehead saying, "Oh, I grew up in a rough place. I'm rough, or I'm a tough guy, or whatever." And I'm not saying that, if you have to do that, if you feel as though you have to do that, you know, you do that. But there's certain things that acting that way, certain consequences that comes with it. Walking around acting like you're tough, or that you are tough, maybe not. You're not acting. Maybe you actually are, because you grew up like I did, or you grew up worse than I did, and you just couldn't get it out of your system. It's just in you. A lot of times you end up being a product of your environment, and the goal is to not be a product of your environment. The goal is to get out of it. You know, um, be that person that uplifts his or her brethren. You know, help your peers to escape what you escaped. You know, I didn't come here on my own accord. My father brought me here. You know, and even though I didn't want to come, I did, but I didn't. It was one of the best things that he could have ever done, because who knows where I'd be, what I'd be doing at this point in time in my life. So I thank him a lot for that, and I want him to, if he watches this video, I want him to know, love you, Dad. Thank you very much appreciated, and you know, hopefully you're not disappointed in your decision. Now, why should we not let our area of growth or birth define us? So a lot of times, and this is gonna, I'm talking about men now. Men have a lot to prove to people. Black men, white men, I've seen it. If you're a part of a certain crowd, you feel as though I have to show this crowd that I can fit in, that I'm tough, that I can do what it takes, to be a part of them, to hang out with them, show them I'm not scared. But the truth is, do you really want that energy in your life? I have a friend that recently passed away, and it was more of an old friend. He actually died from He was shot multiple times. I actually heard the number was about 17, and it was very heartbreaking because, you know, he has a child, and he's from the islands as well, and we grew up very similar. And you know, I hear things like that happen, and it broke my heart that it happened to him, even though we haven't spoken in years. You know, that life followed him. You know, like, even if he didn't want it to, you know, people saw that. I try not to portray myself that way because I have a child. I have a kid, and she means the world to me. And I'm not saying it can't happen, because it can happen to anyone, you know. And it's really sad that it had to happen to him, you know. But it's a lesson that we can learn, you know. We're human, we're flesh, we're blood, you know. And we should want to not prove to the world that we're the toughest guy out there because of where we're from, but prove to the world that because of where we're from, you know, we have value. If we could escape that lifestyle and that teaching, you know, of defense and, you know, dog eat dog or whatever, if we can escape that and show the world that we can, you know, we can become let's just say a functioning citizen that contributes to the, you know, economy. Let's just say that, to be politically correct. I think that's better than showing the world, oh yeah, he's just another person from this area, or oh yeah, you don't expect better or different out of him, you know. I think that if we tried to not let our neighborhoods define us, you know, we'd be better off. Now, I know some people make money off of their background, you know, like musicians, writers, people are in the public eye, you know, they get inspiration, or inspirations rather, from their past. Now, that's different because that's selling, you know. But how likely is it for you to approach someone that looks like he's gonna hurt you because he's, I don't know, a 25-year-old male, you know, dressed a certain way, carrying himself a certain way, you know, and it defines his neighborhood? How likely is it for you to approach someone like that versus approaching someone else that looks, I'm not sure, he's tall, he's, you know, big guy, but, you know, he looks nice, he's dressed nice, he looks pleasant, you know, you're more approachable, people talk to you more, you might get offered more, you might get invited to things, you know, that can open a huge network in your life. You never know, you know. So I urge everyone, brothers, sisters, everyone, to just be mindful, you know, of the way we carry ourselves, thinking about the past, because we're not going to be young forever. One day, you know, there's going to be a point where you got to grow up and grow out of it, you know. And like I said in my last video, everything I say on here are all the things I've told myself, because a lot of people don't even know I'm from the islands. A lot of people don't even know I've seen things I've seen. I've only told you maybe 2 or 3 things I've seen, you know. Certain things I don't talk about, I don't want to talk about it because it's in the past and it doesn't define me. It's not who I am. And I'll continue to do things, you know, to prove to myself that that's not who I am. And I urge everyone to do the same thing, because we're all human, we're all the same, you know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and you guys have a wonderful night.